Can religion be a scary thing? Is there some concepts and thoughts in all religions, especially Western religions, that maybe scare you? Talking about judgment and eternal damnation. Yeah, every religion has the positive side, but in some of those religions, the Old Testament, the New Testament, there's some angry issues that God has with people, and it can be a little frightening. So when we identify with that, because we were taught as little kids, this is the truth, is it kind of scary and can be frightening to think that you're on trial here by maybe a king that sits on a throne? Like I said, not to knock anybody's religion, but something to think about is more of the Eastern philosophies of religion. And I think it can be refreshing. And if you pause and kind of play with it, it's something that can bring you joy. Their idea of how things work and how the universe works and how consciousness and God works is a little different in Buddhism and Hinduism. And most of us never give it any kind of thought because we're guarded against the religion we were brought up in. So it can be very complicated, and that's the first thing that turns people off. But if you try to simplify it and say things in a simple kind of manner and a simple concept, it's we're all one. We're all interconnected. We are that thing. You're it. You are consciousness. Consciousness, God, awareness, essence, whatever you want to call it. You're that thing experiencing the world and the universe, because consciousness can't stand apart from itself. It can't view itself from a distance because it's everything. So in their reality, all the finite things that are in the world, the universe, is a manifestation of consciousness. Like I said, if you just think about it, that means you are a part of God. You can't stand apart from it. But as a finite being, you can experience everything. You can have all the joy and wonder and beauty that you have in a lifetime. And there's also pain and tragedy that comes along with it. So you kind of want to think of yourself as an actor in a play. You go up on stage for a short amount of time and you play your part, whatever it may be. And you play that part, you learn from that, you experience that, and at the end of the play, you go backstage. And you're no longer that actor. So they speak in those terms of how you can look at your life. You get lost in who you are, and you're invested in who you are, and you totally believe in who you are, but the reality is that you're part of it all, playing a role. And how that can be refreshing or enlightening is the fact that if you realize you always were, and you knew you were that essence before you came into the form you're in, before you had the life you're living, and once you pass, once your finite being comes to an end, you realize your essence again. So those people tend not to be stressed out by any sort of judgment or worries, and they live their life through experiencing everything. So the anxiety and depression and things that go along with being tested goes away, and you're realizing your ultimate self is an expression of the universe, and everything's going to be okay. You came into that from essence to what you are, And there'll be a safe landing at the end, because no matter what happens to that actor on stage, your true essence is going to go back to form and be totally aware of the consciousness, the oceanic water it came from. You're the wave on top of the water, but you never stand apart from the ocean. You're made from the ocean, and even though you're in that form, you're still just ocean water. So if you give that some thought, I believe it can be very positive to maybe consider that's how things are. Because it's a beautiful thought. Came into existence, no harm. You experience everything in the finite self you're in. And at the end of that, you go back to your true essence. So if you're enlightened like that and think like that, you take life a little less serious. Maybe you're a little nicer to everybody. And we all have our bad days, but if you just realize, hey, this is who I am, and you get in touch with that, it could change your life. And remember, no matter what, you're a miracle creation and a manifestation of the divine.